Let us learn about another foreign body retrieval device. In this case, the snare that we use for polypectomy, and the retrieval snare is actually, it's a snare. Say for example, you remove a large pedunculated polyp and you cut the polyp and you have a decent amount of stock. You don't need a retrieval net. You could use the snare and catch the polyp stock and then bring it out with the scope. This way you would avoid the need for using another device, and it will be cost saving for the patient as well as safer for the planet. The snare could also be used for certain purposes, especially removing plastic stents, either biliary plastic stent or pancreatic plastic stent. They can also be used for removing long objects, especially like pencils, pens, etc. And we have learned about how to operate a snare. As you can see, the snare is open, and when you close the hand, it closes, open, close. It's the same principle. But one thing is important is when you are working with an endoscopist, it is important to measure the movement, either closure or opening, in such a way that the endoscopist can also sync his movements. So it's important to open slowly and close slowly. That way the endoscopist has time to adjust or make whatever minor adjustments he has to make so as to get the maximum benefit. So something to keep in mind. Don't just open the snare fast, and if the endoscopist is very close to the wall, that could unnecessarily damage the wall of the gastrointestinal tract. We frequently use snares to remove plastic biliary stents, as when we are doing biliary stent exchange or removing plastic pancreatic stents. They can also be used for removing long objects, but when you're removing a long object, it is very important to align your scope and the long object in the direction of the lumen of the gut. And some areas of difficulty include the GE junction, and the other area is cricopharynx and the pharyngo-oral pathway. And as the long foreign object is coming out of the upper esophagus through the pharynx and mouth and out, it is important to ask the anesthetist or the assistant to extend the neck with a little bit of a jaw thrust to open up that upper pathway and straighten it up a little bit for the long foreign object to come out without causing unnecessary damage. Whenever we remove long foreign objects other than the plastic stents, it's a good idea to go back and examine the GE junction and also cricopharyngeal area to make sure that there was no inadvertent damage to the lining of those areas. I hope this is useful. Thank you.